Welcome in, everybody. I'm Devin O'Day, and it is Waggin Tales Wednesday. Y'all, I got to tell you, Waggin Tales Wednesday has been crazy because I've been up for the last 3 nights. I've got a sick goat. His name is Tobias, and he's oftentimes part of our show and a lot of my live visits with you guys. And so it's been a little tough, and he's not feeling too good. So wherever you are, I ask for you to send up a little prayer. And yeah, I pray for goats. I pray for all God's creatures. And that's the way it is. And that's what gets us through, right? Welcome in. I hope that you guys are having a fantastic middle of the week. Somebody posted today. They said, hey, this would be really cool. We got through Monday. We got through Tuesday. How about let's collect $200 and pass right on to Friday, like in Monopoly? I really like that. Hey, if you're out and about, don't forget, this is holiday season in Nashville. A lot of people come to Nashville to celebrate. Be safe.
So, I got a DUI. Mom, Dad.
Why didn't you just call someone for a ride?
I wasn't thinking ahead. I didn't think I was going to get caught. Yeah, my best friend, Tim.
Still coming to my bachelor party next month?
This DUI cost me 10 grand. So, no. Yeah, you, in the back.
Did you know I almost died when you hit me?
I didn't think this would affect so many people.
You think it was worth it?
No more questions.
I tell you what, we live in a time where things are frightening and they're really scary. But just making sure that we all know that if we are going to be out and about and we are going to be on the streets of downtown Nashville or even out in the middle of nowhere, don't drink and drive, but remember that somebody else might be. So be on the lookout. As they say in the military, head on a swivel, right? Always know what's around you. You guys, Anne of all trades is somebody I met at Rory Feek's Homestead Festival, and she is so fantastic. She and her husband moved from out on the west side of our country and moved to Nashville a year ago, and they're working really hard. She's a woodworker, and she does plans that you can buy, and she has products that she creates her own self. She's not connected to a big company or anything like that, but she is just the most, I just love learning from her. AnneofAllTrades.com. That's Anne with an E. AnneofAllTrades.com is how you can find her and what she sells and supporting her homestead. But I thought it was really cool. I want to know how to make good compost. And throughout even the wintertime, you can create an inexpensive compost bin that works. But I've tried a lot of them, and they have failed miserably. But now we've got all our leaves coming in. We've got all of our things that we're going to have a lot of extra kitchen things that we can throw into the compost heap. So let's see what Anne of all trades says about how to do a very, very easy and inexpensive, which is most important these days, compost bin.
A 3-bin composting system that will turn this into this. So I'm going to make 2 stalls using these pallets. These 2 stalls will be on either side, and then I'll just put a pallet in the back in the middle to sturdy the whole structure up. I'm going to add a couple of scraps from the school build, and we'll get this thing nice and strong. Secure this guy in. I help you, sir? I'm gonna fill this first bin up with wood chips so that I have easy access to carbons or browns. We have our carbon base. We're gonna add some kitchen scraps. Ugh, that has been sitting for a while. Some lawn clippings, also sitting for a day. Blech. I'm gonna add some clippings from the garden, whatever Howdy will share for me. I chop these up really good so we don't create an anaerobic environment in there. A little layer of carbon. Now I'm adding in a layer of coffee grounds from my local coffee shop. By the way, these are fantastic greens. Even though they're technically black, they have all kinds of nitrogen and other goodies still in the hull of the coffee bean. This is on my daily walking path so that I see this and I'm reminded to check on it on a regular basis, right by the barn where I'm getting animal waste as I'm cleaning it, right next to the garden where I can take that finished compost and put it into the garden. We're a week in with this compost and it is so cool how it's been working. Day 2, it was up to 160 degrees. This is almost too hot to touch. It is breaking down so quickly and it's starting to turn black, but holy moly, I'm like gonna burn my hand. The fact that this still has a smell to it on the inside of the pile, but I can't smell it on the outside of the pile, is proof that the carbon sponge is doing its job. Regardless of what you put in your pile, how many times you flip it, how long it's been, if you watch my beginner's guide to composting video, you know that the measure of finished compost is whether or not you can distinguish things that you originally put into the pile as you're taking them out. What I definitely don't want to see as I'm doing this is any chunks of vegetables or, you know, any discernible items that look exactly the same way they did when I put them in here. I mean, even these wood chunks, like, are so much smaller now than they were when they first came in. So I know that the composting did its job. We made a free composting cheat sheet that you can print out and take with you wherever you go. You can find that on my Squarespace website, annofalltrades.com.
My
There are tons of other blog posts about composting, fixing your soil, how to stop watering your garden, and all kinds of other useful things when it comes to actually turning trash into treasure. I use the store on my Squarespace site to sell all kinds of things. T-shirts like the First Harvest t-shirt I'm wearing in this video, project plans, other merchandise, and spoons. I've been using Squarespace to host my website since I started my business in 2012. It is a fantastic platform for people who are not super tech savvy like me to take everything that I want to put out there into the world and drag and drop it into a beautiful artist design template that then puts it out there into the world. Squarespace would be a great resource for you if you want to start your own blog or if you want to start selling some things online. So check out squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/AnnofAllTrades for a 10% discount.
I love her. I love her. All that and helping you save money if you want to do your own website. And I want to say do-it-yourself websites are fantastic. People are charging an arm and a leg to do these elaborate websites when sometimes all you just need is something that is easy to navigate and you can sell your product. And I would encourage you, if you want to try Squarespace, save your 10% with Ann of All Trades discount and do it yourself. Be brave. Go ahead and try it. Run Nashville is part of a big event coming to Nashville, and I'm sorry, I about scared her to death. I have two different things. And she thought it was tomorrow, but you know what? She's a runner because she's always ready. Melaine is here from Run Nash. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so sorry about the little confusion. I had two messages. One said Wednesday and one said Thursday, and I didn't want to be wrong. And I said, I'm going to make sure I send it to you. You can come back tomorrow if you want
Exactly. We can talk about this every day.
I love it. I love it. What is coming to town? Because, you know, I am not part of marathon or half marathon culture, but the owner of our company, Dave, and his family are in every marathon known to man. Right. I mean, they run as a family. They run on the holidays before they go and eat the big meal. It's crazy. What's coming to Nashville?
Well, we're bringing an event back to Nashville after being on a COVID hiatus. It's the Nashville Half Marathon, Marathon, and 5K, taking place on Saturday, November 12th. So we are excited to be back. And the good thing, Devin, about this experience is even if you're not a runner, you're more than welcome to come out, cheer people on, and enjoy the live music that we'll be having at the finish line.
The music is a big part of the Nashville marathons. It really is. Tell us a little bit about Run Nash. Would you explain a little bit about what you do and what Run Nash is?
I would be happy to. Yeah, Run Nash is an event production company that specializes in running events.
Mhm.
The company started over 17 years ago and kind of revolutionized that fun run
Mhm.
aspect when it was called I Run for the Party. So a lot of people might remember, if you're a Nashville native or been here a long time, the Cinco de Mayo run. They had a St. Patty's Day run. But over the years, it transitioned into what do you run for? And then 3 years ago, it became Run Nash. And as it changed names, it changed the events that we offer and added a marathon and half marathon about 12 years ago. And we are just the only other marathon and half that has access to downtown Nashville. So it's us and the
Wow.
Rock and Roll Marathon. So we're very proud to be able to provide runners a real opportunity to see the streets of Nashville right from the ground. And if you're like me, moving a little bit slower, so you can really enjoy the surroundings as you walk or run by.
I like that you say walk
Yes.
because that's always mine. And the only time I've ever done any kind of anything, I walked and we always finish last. We call ourselves Team Turtle.
Love it.
We win every time because we finish.
Yes.
See, that's our whole deal is, and my favorite moment of that experience, there was a woman who said she had watched her sister run for 4 years. She'd never been able to participate. And she went on a regimen to try to lose some weight. She said, I was labeled morbidly obese and I could only watch from the sidelines. She lost some weight and she began walking and walking. And she said, this year I'm going to run. I'm going to be in this. Well, she was all red in the face and she was going to quit. She said, I'm done. I can't. And I had 2 veterans walking with me, both of them missing a limb. They flanked her on both sides. And they said, no man left behind, ma'am. No man left behind. And they walked her across the finish line. And it was the most beautiful. I mean,
I know, I'm getting a little
it was,
teary-eyed.
and that's the story of what happens at these marathons and what happens. And there's always the charity element of every marathon and running for good. That's what people do in this town. So let's get the details on how people can participate, walking or running. If you want to be a part of this, how do they do it?
Yes. So you can go to runnash.com and take a look at our website and see that you can register there. We also offer a number of other events throughout the year. But our next race is November 12th.
November 12th, mark that down. I always say that it's kind of cool to go and do that, all those things ahead of Turkey Day. Hey, get there ahead of the pumpkin pie, and then you don't feel any guilt for all you eat on Thanksgiving.
Exactly. And you're having fun while you're doing it.
Well, Melaine, and I swear to you, if you want to talk to me tomorrow, you're in.
Send me the link. I'll be there.
Thank you so much. You have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye. I love that. Runnash.com is the website to check out, and they'll keep you posted on all ways that you can participate. And don't let it scare you. If you may not be a marathon runner, but you can be a marathon participator, a half marathon participator. And you can also join in by being a volunteer, by helping with water, check-in and all that. So go to runnash.com to get all your information. Hey, now we're going to take a little other kind of a wine marathon, a taste test at Opry Mills Mall at Amber Falls Winery. They have a tasting room there. Did you know? There are all sorts of music events at Amber Falls Winery's tasting room at Opry Mills, and you can check out their actual winery in Hampshire, Tennessee. They have music events, music on the mountain there, and they're fantastic. If you want to check out a lot of things going on in the fall, we think about fall as a time to clear out the old and everything starting to die off. And the leaves are let go from the trees and things like that. But it's also the time of year to think about your winter grasses and building and planting. Planting trees, that's in the fall, and planting grass, it's in the fall, so they can winter through and have a beautiful green spring.
Moat, and I'm an extension agent here in the Rutherford County Extension Service office located in Murfreesboro. This morning we're standing out here. This is the third week of October, and we're standing in our turf grass demonstration area here at the office at Lane Agri Park, which is the name of the complex where the extension office is located. And we're standing here in some newly overseeded or newly renovated cool season turf grass areas. And I wanted to talk just a few minutes this morning about newly seeded turf grass, weed management newly seeded turf grass. Now, a lot of individuals, a lot of homeowners took advantage of the almost ideal September that we had this year for either establishing or renovating cool season turf grasses. There was plenty of adequate moisture without the need for excessive supplemental irrigation, and the temperatures were good enough to provide really good germination. So we're standing here in these plots, and these were seeded on the 17th day of September. And these are all tall fescue blends, and they have germinated, come in really well. But as we're looking at this turf grass, we're also noticing not only the grasses, but also some of the broadleaf winter annual weeds that have come in. For example, here we've got some common chickweed, and if we look a little bit closer, we can see we've got some pretty healthy young henbit plants that are coming in here. Plus, we've got juvenile goosegrass. So we got our cool season grass weeds, and we got our warm season grass weeds that grow out here right now at the same time. Isn't Tennessee a wonderful place? We have diversity. So you've gone to the trouble, you've gone to the expense of establishing some good cool season turf grass. It's up, it's growing really good. What can you do about those weeds? Well, right now, while these weeds are young and actively growing, is a pretty good time to do some weed control options on those. There are a number of different products that are available for homeowners. I've got some listed or sitting right here. These are all examples of products that you can pick up at garden centers. They're all labeled for homeowners to use. If you'll check the labels on them, they're very similar in terms of their active ingredients. They're all 2, 3, or 4-way active ingredient products, meaning that they've got multiple active ingredients. And typically, those products that have multiple active ingredients will give you a broader spectrum of weed control. But one thing you've got to keep in mind is pay attention to that label to ensure that you are applying the herbicide to grasses that are mature enough, strong enough to handle the herbicide application. You know, these 3 different products here, here's one called Weed Beater Ultra from the Bonide Company. This is Ortho Weed Be Gone. It also has some crabgrass preventer in it, or some crabgrass control, and this is a Spectricide weed stop for lawns also with some crabgrass control in there. The crabgrass control is not necessary now, but it's still going to work on these broadleaf weeds that are out here. But the thing to keep in mind when you check that label is that it's going to tell you that grass needs to be at some level of maturity, that newly seeded grass does. It can be, for example, this one, the Bonide, suggests that you need to wait until you have mowed the grass for the second time before you apply this herbicide product. The other 2 that are here with me say that their labels say that you need to wait until that grass has been established for approximately 6 weeks. That's just to ensure that there's enough maturity on the grass that the herbicide application is not going to damage it. But taking care of these broadleaf weeds, these winter annual broadleafs now, instead of waiting until we get up into November, it gets cooler, and maybe the herbicide activity is not going to be so great in the November-December time frame, and then we start moving on into the spring of the year when these weeds begin to bloom and reproduce. Taking care of them now, it's much easier to control them while they're young and actively growing. And we're also starting to break that cycle where we're not allowing them to reproduce, put more seed back in the ground, and keep adding to that seed bank. So maybe in the long run, we can start to take away from the seed bank and in the future start to reduce overall weed pressure.
My little sister has been out in the yard. Literally, they have a little thing that burns the weeds. She goes one by one and gets rid of them. She's so, and I go, I'm going to send you something about how to plant your turf in the fall so you don't have weeds in the spring. And there's a way to do it. There is a way. And our Tennessee UT Extension Service in every county really is helpful. And thank you to Rutherford County for sending that to us. Steve Burney is with us today. Hi, Steve. And Steve says he's going to look into maybe volunteering at the half marathon, the Nashville Marathon. Elizabeth, always good to have you here. And I love how you always encourage to call for a sober drive. Perry, who joins us from Rugby, North Dakota. Perry, it's so good to have you with us today. And Garrett Walker, I'm glad you liked the story about the sweet lady who made it across the finish line thanks to 2 veterans. And no man left behind. That's what we do. Let's see. I know there was somebody else that stopped in. Oh, yes. Suzanne and Mark from Northern Alabama. Good to have you. Love you so much. Well, we are like a little family here. You guys, it was so cool. I got to go down to Cool Springs and meet Chef Chris. She is from Black Diamond Culinary. I didn't know what Black Diamond Culinary was. Had no idea. Y'all, this place is amazing. And if you want to do a private party, if you're just looking for something different, maybe get a group together to do a cooking class. Maybe you want a date night where you and your significant other can learn how to cook together. I mean, I'm telling you, looking for different things that are so much fun. That's what we love to do here at Main Street today. Let me introduce you to Chef Chris. We're here with Chef Chris McCorkle from Black Diamond Culinary. What is Black Diamond Culinary?
So Black Diamond Culinary got created about 6 years ago from an inspiration of Chef Bob Wagner in Charleston, South Carolina. He worked with my former husband, Jean-Claude, at the Wild Boar Restaurant. If anybody knows the Wild Boar Restaurant in Nashville, it was a totally fabulous restaurant. And Bob moved to Charleston, and he did a few other things, but got tired of being on the road, and he created In the Kitchen with Bob. So my daughter got me hooked on Instagram, and of course, what do? You start looking up people. I ran across Bob, said, what is he doing? Made a trip to Charleston, came back, told my husband, this is what I want to do. Teach cooking classes here in Franklin, Tennessee.
So you have people come in and learn as a corporate event?
So we do corporate events, we do private cooking lessons, we do bachelorette parties, we do couples nights, we do just guys nights, girls nights, and we teach several different kind of cooking classes, whatever your desire is to learn.
Do you ever do private dinners?
We do private dinners, and a lot of times when I do a private dinner, I'm doing most of the cooking. Everybody's just drinking and having fun.
I know polo seems like it is the sport of kings, and it is, but Nashville has a very strong polo community, and every year they go together at Orrin Ingram's farm and Riverview Farm, and they work together along with Nashville Polo to raise money for 2 important organizations. One is my charity of choice, almost always Beyond, is Saddle Up. It's a therapeutic riding program for challenged children. Everyone's equal on top of a horse. And then there is Rochelle Center, who is also very dear to my heart. And Chuckers for Charity is done every year. And I thought, what is a good animal story for today? It's where these polo ponies literally trained and come from all over the world. And these great polo players from all over the world do world-class polo and they've raised millions of dollars for those 2 charities. When you think of Middle Tennessee or Nashville, Franklin, you might not think polo. That seems like something that the British would do, or the South Africans would do, or the people from Argentina. Well, they do, but so do we. Here in Middle Tennessee or in Ingram, along with James and Lexi Armstrong, every year at Riverview Farm and Orrin Ingram's farm, they get together with Nashville Polo, and they have an invitational that is second to none. Voted the #1 charity event in Williamson County. People get together and celebrate a wonderful game of polo with world-class players while raising money for two very worthy organizations. Over 25 years, they've been meeting once a year to play polo and raise money. And they've raised over $3 million for Rochelle Center and Saddle Up. If you don't know about Saddle Up, it is a therapeutic riding program in Leapers Fork, Tennessee for challenged children, but they're all equal on top of a horse. It's an amazing organization, and Rochelle Center does incredible work with challenged adults. Their work programs and daycare programs are incredible, and that's why Orrin Ingram, his family, and a host of volunteers and people who buy tickets and cabanas, they decorate, they go all out. This year, there was a safari theme. They have a winning team, and they have great sponsors. They have the winning pony, the best playing pony, and they have stick horse races, and the kids really get a big kick out of stomping the divots. Now, what that is walking across the field, and literally every place that there's a piece of turf that is pushed up, you actually stomp the divot and make sure that the field is back in place. Now, if you don't know a lot about polo, it's okay. You really don't have to. You just go, buy a ticket, you eat well, and enjoy a wonderful afternoon. It is fast-paced, it is real, and it is an incredible event for those two organizations. I hope you'll check out chuckersforcharity.com. I love the event. I've been there I've been doing Checkers for Charity as the announcer for over 25 years now. Love the organization, love what they do. And it's a great event to volunteer at. It is a great chance to volunteer. So if you'd like to be a part of that, they start planning right as soon as they take down the tents from this year. They start planning for next year. So get in touch with Lexi Armstrong or some of those folks that are on the team over at Checkers for Charity. It's a great organization to be a part of. Hardy, do you know his music? You know, he had a bus wreck not too long ago in Wilson County on this really dangerous stretch of I-40. And it was a lot. It was a lot for them. They had to cancel some shows, but they were thinking about pushing the release of their new project. And Hardy said, nope, got new songs. And the fans said they wanted him to release them. Hardy just got married, and People magazine profiled he and his wife. And the coolest thing about it, it's a Waggin Tales Wednesday thing. They had beer burros, little burros that went to people with these little coolers on their backs, and people. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. Little mini burros, precious. But here is Hardy announcing the release of his new music. Hardy, it's not. That is actually the news story that took place that talked about the serious accident. The new song that he released is called Mockingbird and the Crow. Mockingbird and the Crow, or Stay in the Truck. Mark my words, this is a Song of the Year song. It is incredible. Incredible. If you don't know the song, you can check out the video. It stars he and Lainey Wilson. An incredible combo if I ever heard one together. And it is a fabulous, beautifully, incredibly written song, and poignant, and going into a time of year when domestic violence is definitely on the hearts and minds of everyone in a dangerous situation. We're going to talk more about that going into the holidays, just to make sure that everybody stays safe, because we never take for granted that the holidays are happy for everyone, but we want to reach out to those that are struggling in different ways. You guys be safe. Tell somebody you love them today. Our world needs it. Somebody is going to look for your phone call today, and it's going to change their life just because you made it. Be safe out there because it's a dangerous place, and watch where you're driving. But most of all, remember you're loved. Thanks for showing up here each and every day, for following, subscribing, and sharing. God bless you.